I'm sure you're like most people where you have a routine, your morning routine, and it doesn't really change often or doesn't change much. I've just had to change my routine a little bit. So I wake up in the morning and I get dressed, but I just get dressed. So I don't really comb my hair and I don't brush my teeth before I actually leave the house without having brushed my teeth or combed my hair. That's because I just take my daughter to the bus stop, and my daughter doesn't notice, and I don't, I don't, I don't see anyone. I don't socialize with anybody. But now suddenly I have to change the whole thing. Um, so the one mother, she parks her car next to my car, and I give her a wave, but there's never, I don't talk. But then suddenly yesterday, my daughter starts talking to her son. They start playing. He brings these little cap things, these little white little things. They look like little tissue things, but you throw them on the ground and it makes a bang. And then I'm the unfriendly father. I'm sitting there pretending nothing's going on because I don't want to start getting into conversation because I've got well, the family call it Naomi breath. So my mother Naomi, she's got very bad breath. So my wife and I, if one of us has got bad breath, could be the daughter, could be the dog, could be me, could be my wife. We say, Afiki Punya Pahamba. You got Naomi breath. What's a Fiki Punya Pahamba? Now, Fiki Punya Pahamba was the president of Botswana. And his name was Ifiki Punya Pahamba. And his wife's name was Penny Ifiko Punya Pahamba. And I know this is very politically incorrect and it sounds mocking other people's cultures. But so when something's like not good, Fiki Punya Pahamba, that's just the thing. Does your family have like their own language? Their own little thing? Maybe we're mad. I don't know. Anyway, so from this morning, what did I do? Brushed my teeth, combed my hair before I went out. And then I arrive, and then the mother and the child aren't even there. But you know what? I'll just make it a habit. You never know. You could be in a little bumper bashing. You got to get out of your car. You can't come with bad breath. Nothing worse than people with bad breath. Bad breath can break, destroy any relationship. You can meet the most gorgeous, wonderful person. Oh my God, I'm going to marry you. Bad breath. Out the window. I knew a guy with bad breath. Really, really bad breath. And then he met a woman. Eventually down the road, they actually got married. I think I got children, but let me just rewind a bit. I noticed soon after he met her, his breath wasn't bad anymore. I think she thought to herself, I've got a good man here. Let me sort his breath out. So she probably was honest. Listen, Kevin, I love you. Well, you got potential. Sex is okay. Sex is good. I think we have a long-term future, but you know what? Your breath, it's like you've eaten a shit sandwich. Sort your breath out. I don't know how to. I brush my teeth. No. Some people don't know how to brush their teeth. You know what the thing is? You got to get to those teeth at the back. Some people don't know that. That is the secret. Bad breath, get to those teeth at the back. Brush. When people brush their teeth, you can't just... My daughter, I'm still trying to train her. It takes 10 seconds to brush your teeth. I try to... No, that's not good enough. I tell you, I don't time it, but I spend a good, easily 2 minutes. Maybe longer. I haven't timed it. I'm brushing my teeth. That's what I do. I've started another new routine. Changed my breakfast habit a bit. It won't happen every morning because it's a bit of an expensive habit. Fruit. So I cut up those three apples, but one of those small apples. 3 apples. I did 2 cling peaches and some seedless red grapes. Sounds healthy, I know. Filled up a whole bowl. Let me show you if you're on this is the bowl. if you're on YouTube. By the way, I'm on YouTube. You can subscribe. Thank you. And then what I do is I then pour cream. I cover it with cream. So that's just to make it enjoyable. I need a bit of enjoyment in my life. So I looked it up. I thought to myself, okay, this probably is not healthy. So the fruit is very healthy. All that fruit is very good. But the cream, I Googled health benefits of cream, ? Enter. Turns out there aren't any health benefits of cream. It's not good at all. Turns out it increases your cholesterol. Difficult doesn't digest so well. Apparently it causes arteriosclerosis, hardening of the arteries of the blood vessels. Not so good. So I might only do that once a week. Just once a week. Ooh, anyway, I feel really, really full. I'm really, really full. So anyway. Look, the cream. Have you ever followed the Banting diet, or have you read up or heard about Banting? They recommend cream, lots of cream, but it's all very well. If you stick 100% to Banting, then that's fine. If you cut out carbs completely, then it's okay. Problem is, I'm probably still doing a bit of carbs. Not a lot. I've cut down a lot, but I do have the occasional carb. Mainly a little bit of rice here and there, a little bit of pasta here and there, a little bit of pizza. Okay, I have lots of carbs. Now that I think about it. When you put things down, when you actually keep a record of what you're eating, then it comes out. Have you forgotten about the municipal elections yet? It's kind of like, I think I've moved on. Have you moved on? Are you still thinking about the elections? I saw something strange, and this took me by surprise. So Action SA's Herman Mashaba. So he's talking about coalitions, and he says he's not keen on a coalition with the Democratic Alliance, with the DA, but he doesn't mind looking at a coalition with the EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters. That took me by surprise. I thought Action SA was more alike, more aligned, more similar to the Democratic Alliance. And the Economic Freedom Fighters are a little bit more left. To me, I see Action SA as a bit right, leaning towards the right. And the DA, Democratic Alliance, also, maybe they've leaned a bit further. They've actually fallen over into the, you can only lean so far. Eventually you fall over. They've fallen over into the right. Can't judge Action SA too soon in terms of whether they're leaning or whether they've fallen completely to the right, because it's a very new party. But I don't like to say this, but it looks like they're the future. See, what South Africa is missing, and there's a gap. There's a gap in the election market, so to speak. You need like a so-called black political party that is a favorable or desirable alternative to the ANC, African National Congress. But I was hoping for that particular party to be more centrist, not leaning towards the right. Why do I say Action SA is leaning towards the right? Look, it's just my opinion, but lack of empathy towards illegal immigrants, people who have escaped, moved away from countries that are unpleasant, either dangerous, economically not viable to survive, war-torn countries. When you start lacking empathy, that's when you start going towards the right. That's just my interpretation. I don't want to get too analytical about politics, but on paper, in my opinion, if you look at the ANC, on paper they're quite centrist. I feel. I think the ANC's policies and their mandates and their principles in general are pretty like centrist, like they pretty neutral, like, and it looks favourable on paper, but sadly fraught with corruption, fraught with criminality, fraught with mismanagement, fraught with just lots of problems. So in reality, but can I say bunch of criminals? Yeah, what can you do? Woke up to this amazing news, and I never saw this coming. I haven't even reported on this because I don't know, maybe it depressed me, hey? You know, when you become a parent, you become more sensitive when you see a story about children, either children mistreated, children, whatever, just any bad story around children, you become more sensitive. So when that story about the Moti, the M-O-T-I, the Moti brothers, four of them, 4 young children, kidnapped 3 weeks ago in Polokwane, maybe subconsciously I avoided it. They're home, they're back, they're alive. They were found at some village, something with a V, very rural, 100 kilometers away from where they were kidnapped, 100 kilometers away from Polokwane. The kidnappers dropped them off on some street somewhere. The children knocked on the door of somebody's house. One of the children in the family recognized them. Hey, man! And called the police. The police arrived. A doctor examined the children, make sure everything's all right. The children are in good health. And the children were reunited with their parents. Chashva Khalila, it's beautiful. Kol hakavod. They all thanking Allah. Thank you, Allah. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for everyone in South Africa praying for the children. Is that the end of the story? I've watched lots of the Crime Channel. Crime Channel, and I looked at the story a couple of days ago. I said to my wife, Bernice, you watch lots of Crime Channel. With crime, that you don't reinvent the wheel. There's consistent patterns with certain crimes. You know what I'm saying? 4 children kidnapped, 7 gunmen took them away. Apparently, they haven't asked for ransom. Where do we see this going? So we concluded that whoever kidnapped these children, whoever's behind the kidnapping, is closely associated with the parents, either the father or the mother or a business associate or something like that. This is very personal. This is like a vindictive type thing. My wife and I both agreed that we thought the children were dead. But then I thought, no. If they wanted to kill the children, they would have just killed them then and there. Why kidnap them? So then we discluded. So we thought, no, the kids are gone. So, wow. So this story it hasn't ended. There's more to the story. There's going to be some revelation down the line. I don't know what you think. And these children, I don't know, how are they psychologically? The one neighbor in the area said that these children used to always ride their bikes, and she doesn't see that happening again. The children will never ride their bikes again because they're so traumatized, worried about their safety and security. Who knows? We haven't got the details on the children's condition. Maybe the kidnappers were very nice, even if the kidnappers were nice and gentle, still very, very traumatic for young kids, taken away from their parents, from their family. 3 weeks. I think it's safe to say these children will never be the same again. I think there'll be post-traumatic stress disorder. They're going to need counseling. It's going to be a whole drama. Do you think we'll ever get to the bottom of this? What actually happened? We'll see. Somebody took an amazing photo in this Tanzanian Ruaha National Park. You know, it's like the Kruger National Park, but it's in Tanzania. Somebody took an amazing photo of a leopard with a lion cub in its mouth. But it's holding the lion cub as if it was the lion cub's mother. In other words, it hadn't killed the lion cub. The lion cub hadn't been injured. So this leopard stole a lion cub and took it up a tree, and apparently it's never been seen before. It's the first time this has ever been witnessed. I'm not sure whether experts even knew that something like this happened. So the assumption is that the lion cub is dead by now, dead and eaten. I wonder what it's all about. It's quite incredible, this photo. And it's like, is it I mean, one can surmise, one can come up with theories. Often, what happens is, if a lion will kill another lion's cubs because it's a territorial thing. You know, I don't want your offspring to dominate my land. I think humans have done that as well throughout history. Yeah. But now this is different. Another species. This is a leopard. Okay, fair enough, part of the feline community. The leopard took the lion away. Isn't that... I mean, I know you're going to think I'm a bit crazy, but I thought, you know what came to my mind? Maybe I've got this overly active imagination. Maybe I'm like living in dreamland, but I thought of the story of Moses. Can you believe it? I thought of the story of Moses. Suddenly I'm getting biblical. Can you believe it? I don't know if this might resonate with you. You might think I'm completely mashuga, which means mad. Can you imagine this leopard takes this lion cub into its family? Like Moses. Moses was in the thing, found one of Pharaoh's daughters or some family member of Pharaoh found Moses. And Moses was brought up in the family of Pharaoh. And he was one of the princes of Egypt. Maybe this lion cub with the leopards? You know what? Probably not. For one obvious reason, that I'm completely mad, but another possible reason, leopards are lone creatures. Leopards are by themselves. They're not they're not a family unit. They're not like lions and elephants, etc. So, extremely unlikely. Are we looking at a single parent situation with this leopard? Unlikely. But imagine one day you come across a leopard and there's like a young lion with the leopard. Nah, unlikely. But wouldn't that be an amazing story? But again, I'm dreaming. But I'm telling you now, that would have been a story. It's one can dream. Sometimes I dream. Like Andre de Ruyter. Okay, let's not laugh. This is very serious. Load shedding. So Andre de Ruyter, he's the CEO of Eskom now. With all the sorrows, with all the problems he's got, he's busy nitpicking. Andre de Ruyter doesn't like the media. He's criticized the media. Don't call load shedding blackouts. It's not a blackout. He says load shedding prevents blackouts. So let's examine the situation. A blackout is when you have a fault, an actual fault where there's a failure in the electrical system. Something breaks, blackout. Load shedding, on the other hand, you physically pressing a switch to switch off the electricity. Oh, excuse me. So yes, Andre de Ruyter, technically you're 100% correct. But aren't you just being a little bit oversensitive? Just a little bit. And then Andre de Ruyter's not finished yet. Somebody from the EFF, Economic Freedom Fund, I'm not going to mention his name. He tweeted something. We need to find the addresses of where this Andre de Ruyter lives. We need to drag him out of his house and mur him, clap him. You see, you can't just say anything on social media. And this guy is soon going to learn that. Andre de Ruyter has delegated somebody from Eskom. they're going to lay criminal charges of intimidation or what is it? Intimidation. It's is it criminal injuria? Well, anyway, charges are being laid against this person, and it'll be interesting to see how this comes about. I mean, I can just imagine. Imagine you're like an old judge. You're like, when I say old, okay, 60, 70, something like that. You've been on the bench for all these years. Suddenly you look at the charge sheets, the roll, the courts, the cases that's coming in, and you see the word Twitter. You got to, somebody's got to explain to you this happened on Twitter, and you got to what is Twitter, and how the world has changed. How about that? Okay. Interesting thing. I know I've said this before. This is not a sports show, but looking at the rugby, right? Now, Francois Steyn came onto the field against Wales quite early in the game. Damian Willemse was injured. Francois Steyn had a brilliant game, 34 years old. He won man of the match. For the match against Scotland this Saturday, in 2 days' time, they've put Willie Leroux in the starting lineup, and Francois Steyn is on the bench. I suppose this is where you as a coach, this is where the coach, it's not just about, being a coach isn't just about tactics, skills training. It's also, I think it's got a lot to do with, psychology, emotional intelligence. Now, on the one hand, it's good for Willie Leroux. Francois Steyn had an excellent match. He's 34 years old. Willie Leroux sitting there. Listen, I won the World Cup 2 years ago. If he put Francois Steyn in the starting lineup on Saturday, Willie Leroux would have thought, this 34-year-old, this Altakaka is Italian for old shit. This Altakaka, he's 34 years old. Hey, so it would have done a lot of damage to Willie Leroux's confidence if he wasn't put in the team. But then on the other hand, Francois Steyn, man of the match. So the coach has got to take Francois Steyn to the side. Listen, yes, you played excellently, but that is your job. You are an impact player. You only were supposed to come on in the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes. You came on early because Damian Willemse was injured. And then Francois Steyn will hopefully say, ja, ek verstaan, Jesus Christus, and then they do that thing. So, hopefully the coach handled it in this delicate manner. Hopefully Francois Steyn is not deflated. And he understands, I did well. Maybe I did too well, man of the match. Maybe I should be in the starting lineup, but hopefully there's an understanding and he understands his role. But it's all about how the coach handled it, and it's all very interesting, from a psychological point of view. I don't know, maybe, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll talk on Monday about it. But again, this is not a sports show. This is, I know I've been told I repeat that a bit too often, but this is not a sports show.